Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony is about to begin. In consideration of others around you, please silence all electronic devices for the duration of the ceremony. Thank you. Good morning. I am Sergeant First Class Hickey, your Master of Ceremonies. We would like to extend a warm welcome to the distinguished guests, families, and friends to the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy graduation ceremony for Class 004-25. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of the official party, the invocation given by Chaplain Trimble, and the playing of our national anthem.
Good morning. According to your faith tradition, would you bow with me in a word of prayer? God Almighty, we come before you this morning very grateful for the day you have presented us with and for the beautiful weather outside. Thank you for your presence this morning as we commemorate this day of celebration for men and women who will hit the trail, investing in, shaping, and challenging the lives of America's sons and daughters, having a lasting impact as they protect the freedom of our great nation. Thank you for each family that has joined us here today, moms and dads and spouses and children, and significant others that have come this morning to celebrate this day, very close friends and dear ones that join us together as we celebrate the hard work, the sacrifice, and the efforts that have been placed today. Thank you for the time you present with us. Thank you, God, for meeting here today. In your name we pray. Amen. This will defend.
Please be seated.
Take seats!
Since 1964, drill sergeants have been responsible for training our Army's volunteer fighting force. Fort Jackson is home to the only drill sergeant academy in our Army and is responsible for providing drill sergeants to every training center across the initial military training enterprise. Since its inception, the purpose of the United States Army Drill Sergeant Program has been to transform sergeants into drill sergeants, who in turn have the responsibility to transform into soldiers our national treasure, the thousands of American young men and women who have volunteered to answer the call of a grateful nation. The job of the drill sergeant is one of a professional trainer, coach, mentor, and leader. This is not an easy or simple job, and it comes with sacrifices that each drill sergeant must make in order to perform this extremely important mission. Those who are graduating today will spend the next 2 to 3 years on the trail, training the next generation of our Army. The phrase "on the trail" comes from the frontier days when cattle were driven from California to Colorado to be marketed. The original drill sergeants coined this phrase because of the similar process of moving soldiers from one place to another with few problems or loss along the way. There is a continued effort to move drill sergeants to that high degree of excellence and expertise for which they are known. The drill sergeant course is both stressful and challenging. The 9 weeks of training are broken down into 12-hour days, adding up to 446 hours of instruction. This training is a privilege reserved for the best of the best. Only the top 10% of all sergeants, Army-wide, are eligible to attend the drill sergeant course. Not all sergeants complete this difficult period of training. On 15 January 2025, 137 candidates arrived. During the course, drill sergeants were removed and added for various reasons, resulting in the 106 that are graduating here today. Those graduating represent disciplined, motivated, physically fit drill sergeants who exemplify the drill sergeant creed. All 106 drill sergeants truly are the proud example of our Army and will undoubtedly transform the next generation of civilian volunteers into soldiers that are fully capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. A drill sergeant is the most challenging and rewarding assignment a non-commissioned officer will ever experience. They must transform civilians into soldiers and prepare those soldiers to fight and win in today's complex world. Ladies and gentlemen, identified by their distinctive headgear are the drill sergeant leaders responsible for the training and mentoring of today's graduating class. Drill sergeant leaders instruct the course in small groups of 20 candidates on average. They are highly motivated, professional, and seasoned drill sergeants who have a minimum of 1 year experience in the initial entry training environment from any of the 4 training centers and advanced individual training locations. They were hand-selected to serve as drill sergeant leaders as a result of demonstrating expert leadership, mastery of warrior tasks and battle drills, and consistently performing in the top 1% of their peers. In addition, all have completed the TRADOC Drill Sergeant Leader Certification Program. Please join me in a round of applause for their hard work and dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commandant of the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy, Command Sergeant Major Joshua R. Bible.
Woo! Here we go! Woo! All right, team, this is a bit of an interactive discussion, okay? What I need from you is motivation, okay? So I think you'll know the appropriate response. Good morning.
Good morning, Sergeant Major.
Nope. Let's try again. All right, team, pump me up. Hey, good morning.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
All right, let's train. Command Sergeant Major Smith, distinguished guests, families, and friends, thank you for joining us today for Drill Sergeant Academy graduation ceremony for Class 00425. From the attendance today, it is clear These drill sergeants have amazing families and friends supporting them. What a great day to be a soldier. An even better day to be here, surrounded by the future of the United States Army, represented by the Army's newest drill sergeants graduating here today. The fact that the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy, hold on team, is the gold standard for NCO development and cadre certification is clearly on display today. My name is Command Sergeant Major Josh Beidel, and I am the Commandant, proudly serving alongside the most highly motivated and well-trained drill sergeants in the United States Army. A drill sergeant is the standard bearer for the United States Army and the epitome of what we expect of a soldier. They are the Army's standard bearer, live the Army values, exemplify the warrior ethos, and are guardians of the Army profession. Drill sergeants are responsible for coaching, teaching, motivating, inspiring, and mentoring the future of the Army as they transform them from civilians to combat-ready soldiers. A typical day as a drill sergeant starts before dawn and ends well after sundown. Drill sergeants are the first impression for every trainee and all that the trainee know of the Army. They will emulate you, drill sergeant. They will emulate you. Being a drill sergeant is one of the most demanding and difficult jobs in our Army. It is also one of the most rewarding. How critical a drill sergeant is to our Army cannot be understated. Nor can the sacred trust that is being bestowed on you today. American families all across this great land, as these did, many of these did at one point, entrusted you, their drill sergeant, with their prized possession, their children. The future of America. The future of America is being placed in your care for the most formative time in their Army careers, certainly. But I would also say their lives. Your impact will last a lifetime. Just as you remember your drill sergeants, so will your soldiers you train. Will you be remembered for how you invested in them, believed in them when they didn't believe in themselves, always enforced the standard, challenged them to keep going, or you will be remembered for something else? Class 00425, congratulations on accomplishing this daunting challenge. You have met or exceeded every standard. You surmounted every obstacle, but the challenge is just beginning. Enjoy the time between now and when you report. Take time to reflect on the challenge that lies ahead of you and what you hope to achieve. There will be times, there will be days when you are tired, hot, cold, hungry, and more. Look to your battle buddies during those times and spur one another along. Your experience as a drill sergeant will be directly impacted by the battle buddy you have and you are. The task is great. You are charged with nothing less than training tomorrow's leaders. The Army, the country, and the Constitution are depending on you. Today's guest speaker is Command Sergeant Major Reginald Smith, who enlisted in the Army in 2004. He completed basic combat training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and advanced into field training as a human resource soldier right here at Fort Jackson in 2004. He has held every leadership position in the human resources field up to his present assignment as the Command Sergeant Major of the Fort Belvoir Headquarters Battalion. The long list of assignments in numerous organizations demonstrate his exceptional performance, character, and stewardship of the profession. Please join me in welcoming our guest speaker, Command Sergeant Major Smith.
to the Commandant, to all the individuals here to include leadership, family, friends, and the graduating class, good morning.
Good morning, Sergeant Major.
All right, we're going to do that again since I didn't get the motivation the Commandant got, so good morning.
Morning, Sergeant Major!
All right, so it is an honor and privilege to be here today. I've had the privilege to be at the Drill Sergeant Academy as cadre before multiple times, so anytime I can come and give back to this institution, I am going to run here and get here as fast as possible. So thank you again, Commandant and the team, for allowing me to speak this morning. To the cadre, thank you for everything you did to support the graduating class, getting them here. That's the S1, S3, S4, all the supporting cast at the Drill Sergeant Academy. Your proficiency is one of the reasons why they were able to be successful doing things behind the scenes. So please, everybody, give the cadre a round of applause. I want to also give a shout out to the drill sergeant leaders again, hand-selected to be here. Again, as you heard, the top 1% of their peers, and they wanted to be here. They served successfully as drill sergeants on the trail, and then wanted to come here to this institution to give back to the drill sergeant community. So once again, please give the drill sergeant leaders a round of applause. And finally, the families. Your support for your drill sergeants got them here to this moment where they're achieving their goals. Thank you for that support. Your support is going to continue to push them forward as they go on the trail to one of the most grueling and demanding assignments that they're going to have in their career. So I challenge you to please continue to support them, to do the things that you have done to get them to this point, but exceed it and do it a little bit more, because they're definitely going to need it. So thank you for everything that you've done. And I want to do something a little bit off script. Do we have any veterans in the crowd? Please raise your hand. Please give the veterans a round of applause. So to the drill sergeants that are graduating here today, you put your hat on, you put your drill sergeant identification badge on, and I'm pretty sure you probably took a couple of selfies in the mirror and everything like that. You're excited, and I'm proud of you as well. But it's time to forget that now. It's time to actually go and do your job. That drill sergeant identification badge and hat is not what's important. It's important what's inside of you. And I want to challenge you 3 different things today and get you on your way, so I won't be long. The first thing I want to challenge you to do is to get the best out of every soldier in your formation. I'll say it again. Get the best out of every soldier in your formation. And the way that you do that is to actually have empathy for those soldiers, because you once were a soldier in basic training too, and you didn't know everything. There was a drill sergeant there to teach, mentor, guide, and coach you to the non-commissioned officer that you are today. So you have to invest in every soldier that you have. That means you can't quit on them. That means you have to give them your all. You have to challenge them to be great. And as it says in the creed, you have to insist that they meet the Army standards. Insist. And I want to touch on that word real quick. It means to demand despite the opposition. To demand in spite the opposition. So you have to demand that they meet those standards. That's every single day, 24/7. So when one of those soldiers is struggling, I want you to remember that, to invest in them and insist that they're meeting those standards. Challenge number 2, become the best trainer that you can be. Because that's what being a drill sergeant is about. It's not about being the funny drill that makes all the jokes and makes all the soldiers laugh. It's not about being the mean drill that just wants to give corrective action to the soldiers every single day, multiple times for no reason. It's also not about being the angry drill or the drill sergeant that is not invested into the soldiers. It's about training. Training is the most important part about being the drill sergeant. Making sure that they're fit to fight and ready to go to combat. That is your job. And if you're not doing that, then you're not doing your job correctly. So I'm asking you to invest in training and be the best trainer that you can be. And it starts right now. Yes, you're going to take a little bit of time, before you PCS to your training center. But I need for you to still get into the POI, get into those lesson plans, learn your craft. You were trained here to be proficient, but you can exceed it a little bit more. Even when you're on the trail, in between your cycles, train, get better, help out other organizations, get more time on the trail, get more time around those soldiers. Continue to train and continue to get better every single day. Your soldiers need it, and they need you to be the best that you can be. And the last challenge is to give back to the drill sergeant community. Give back to the drill sergeant community. And there's multiple things that you can do to do that. One thing is speaking positivity into your craft. It's a tough job. It is a demanding job. But if you are positive about it and you go to work every single day speaking that positivity, it is going to bleed into your soldiers. And then guess what? You're going to create more drill sergeants that want to be just like you because of what you're doing to them and how you're speaking about your positivity on the trail and your impact to those soldiers. I also want you to wear that drill sergeant identification badge with pride. Every single day, even in your first assignment outside of the trail. I really want you to remember that because you're going to step into that organization and they're going to believe that you are an expert trainer. They're going to look at that badge and they're going to think, I know I have one of the best trained, well-disciplined, non-commissioned officers in my organization. And your new leadership is going to challenge you to do that every single day. Don't shy away from that challenge. Step into it. Leave the trail and still be that professional that your organization needs you to be. And then finally, and I know I talked to you about this yesterday in the LPD, come back to this institution if you can. I know it's in some of your 1059s. I know that some of you want to be drill sergeant leaders. This institution is the center of excellence for drill sergeants, the only place where drill sergeants are trained. If you have it in you, come back here to be a drill sergeant leader. Come back here to be cadre. Come back here to be first sergeant at the Drill Sergeant Academy. We need the best leaders here. We need you. Invest in the drill sergeant community. I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you for allowing me to speak here. Once again, it's an honor and a privilege to be here at the fine institution, at the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy. This will defend.
The Drill Sergeant Academy would like to recognize supporters of the cycle for their exceptional professionalism and dedication to excellence in support of the unit's total mission. Presenting the Supporter Award is Deputy Senior Drill Sergeant Leader William Plummer. The staff supporters of the cycle are Sergeant First Class Miranda Despain and Miss Teresa Brown. Their behind-the-scenes attention to detail kept training on track with limited distractions. Please join me in a round of applause for the supporter awardees. Drill and ceremony is the basis for standards and discipline in the initial entry training environment. During the course, the drill sergeant candidates are instructed and assessed on their ability to perform and teach drill and ceremony positions and movements, culminating with a drill and ceremony competition. The squad that displayed the highest level of proficiency is awarded the Drill and Ceremony Trophy to be displayed until the following cycle. For Class 004-25, the Drill and Ceremony Competition winner is 4th Platoon, 5th Squad, who was led by Drill Sergeant Stewart. Please join me in a round of applause for the winning squad of the Drill and Ceremony Competition. At the Drill Sergeant Academy, it is tradition to appropriately recognize those who distinguish themselves by their outstanding performance. In keeping with this tradition, the following awards are presented. The drill sergeant leader of the cycle is the drill sergeant leader who displayed the highest contribution to the entire platoon, created an impeccable learning environment, and displayed a standard for all graduating drill sergeants to follow. For Class 004-25, the drill sergeant leader of the cycle is Deputy Senior Drill Sergeant Leader William Plummer. Please join me in a round of applause for the drill sergeant leader of the cycle. Senior drill sergeant leader David Ewing will now present the graduating class their distinctive headgear. Please hold your applause and cheering until the awardees have been acknowledged. The Iron Drill Sergeant Award is given to the candidate who displayed the highest score on the Army Combat Fitness Test. The Iron Drill Sergeant Award recipient is Drill Sergeant Dwayne Compton, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Each awardee will be presented with a token of appreciation and support for exceeding the standards while in the course. The Drill Sergeant Academy would like to express sincere gratitude to First Command for donating these awards. Please join me in a round of applause for the awardee. The following drill sergeant has exceeded the course standards, demonstrated exceptional physical fitness, and maintained a grade point average in the top 20% of the graduating class. For these achievements, they are rightfully placed on the Commandant's list. Drill Sergeant Michael Chifo, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Please join me in a round of applause for the Commandant's list. Ladies and gentlemen, the following drill sergeants are graduates of Class 004-25. Please hold your applause and cheering until the last drill sergeant is acknowledged.
Drill Sergeant Brandon Alvarado, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Who?
Drill Sergeant Mariana Alvarez, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Kofi Asa, Fort Benton, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Kevin Armstrong, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Brendan Ornejo, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Isaac Asar, Fort Great Adams, Virginia. Drill Sergeant Schuler Blackman, Fort Great Adams, Virginia. Drill Sergeant Douglas Bowen, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Alicia Cabrera, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Trace Carter, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Alexander Castro Garcia, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Taylor Chapman, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Lana Cordova, 108 Training Command.
Drill Sergeant Grayson Colbreth, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Ira Dale, 108 Training Command.
Drill Sergeant Aaliyah Daniels, New York National Guard.
Drill Sergeant Austin Davis, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Eric Lafayette, Fort Great Adams, Virginia. Drill Sergeant Christopher Diaz, Fort Leonard, Missouri. Drill Sergeant Louis Donato, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Dylan Doucette, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Drill Sergeant Kyle Jerky, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Clayton Emmett, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Tynesha Evans, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Martin Bay, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Stephen Feely, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Jacob Forsyth, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Jose Franken, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Casey Gentry, Presidio Monterey, California.
Drill Sergeant Dion Gilbert,
Training Command.
Drill Sergeant Jared Godley, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Alessi Gonzalez, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Blake Goody, 108 Training Command.
Drill Sergeant Austin Hare, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Stephen Hawkins, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Drill Sergeant Andrew Fernandez, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Michael Herrera, Fort Huachuca, Arizona. Drill Sergeant Greg Hyatt, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Jeremy Hicks, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Shelby Hankins, Fort Houston, Virginia.
Drill Sergeant Devontae Holyfield, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Drill Sergeant Anthony Holzman, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Eric Homan, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Drill Sergeant Robert Yanni, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Lawson Johnson, Presidio, Monterey, California. Drill Sergeant Anton Jones, Presidio, Monterey, California.
Drill Sergeant Chandrea Jones, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Drill Sergeant Artie Kelly, 108 Training Command.
Drill Sergeant David Kirkpatrick, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Daniel Klaczynski, Fort Greg Adams, Virginia. Drill Sergeant Ryan Knox, Fort Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Dylan Kramer, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Jesse Rouse, Yorktown, Virginia.
Drill Sergeant Seth Lachance, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Cameron Lamortega, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant August Larson, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Hell yeah.
Drill Sergeant Zachary Lee, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Drill Sergeant Lovely, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Ephraim Luna, Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Drill Sergeant Arthur Myers, State of Mountain, California.
Drill Sergeant Brianna Marshall, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Tyler Marshall, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Austin McCall, Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Drill Sergeant Rojan Miller, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Benjamin Hill, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Jacob Morrison, 108 Training Command.
Sergeant Doug Brady, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Zafir Ray, 108 Training Command.
Drill Sergeant Alfredo Robles, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Drill Sergeant Nelson Roshaw, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Kurt Rodriguez, 108 Training Command. Drill Sergeant David Rodriguez, Fort Eustis, Virginia. Drill Sergeant Jack Rudiger, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Sierra Roski, 108 Training Command.
Drill Sergeant Justin Sadie, Fort Benning, Georgia. Drill Sergeant Noel Samanengo, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Dave Scarborough, Fort Littlewood, Missouri. Drill Sergeant DeMario Scarborough, Presidio Monterey, California.
Drill Sergeant Seneca Schilling, 108 Training Command.
Drill Sergeant Peter Smith, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Arthur Schultz, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Cameron Silver, 108 Training Command. Drill Sergeant Michael Smith, 108 Training Command. Drill Sergeant Randy Smith, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Terrence Smith, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Tyler Stewart, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Drill Sergeant Logan Taylor, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Drill Sergeant Cody Olschmidt, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Matthew Underwood, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Stephen Wall, Fort Linwood, Missouri. Drill Sergeant L.J. Walter, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Sebastian Wintero, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Drill Sergeant Dominic Wheat, on the way, ready to command.
Drill Sergeant Jakari Human, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for the Army's newest drill sergeant. At this time, Iron Drill Sergeant Dwayne Compton will present a token of appreciation to the guest speaker, Command Sergeant Major Reginald Smith.
Army, on behalf of class 004-25. Thank you for your words of wisdom. Please accept this token of appreciation.
I accept it.
You have become what you set out to be, a drill sergeant in the United States Army. The Drill Sergeant Creed is your declaration of your unshakable commitment to the ideals this nation was founded upon and will continue to guarantee. At this time, drill sergeants, past and present, please stand as the Drill Sergeant Leader of the Cycle, Deputy Senior Drill Sergeant Leader Plummer, leads the graduating class in the reciting of the Drill Sergeant Creed. The Drill Sergeant Creed is not a creed for every NCO in the Army. The honor and privilege is given to these non-commissioned officers to transform America's sons and daughters from civilians to soldiers to fight and win the wars of this great nation.
Yes, well, disband. Army Drill Sergeant.
I will assist each individual in their efforts to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will instill pride in all I train, pride in self, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards of military merit and courtesy, consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never require a soldier to attempt any task I would not do myself. But first, last, and always, I am an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song and remain standing for the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated as the drill sergeants of Class 004-25 exit the building. You will be able to join them shortly.
Whoop. Right. Face. What time? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Here we go.
Sentinels! Sentinels! Sentinels, lead the way!
Left. Go left.
Hey!
Left, right. Go left.
You got it!
Left, go left.
Hey!
Left, right. Go left.
You got it! Just not get busy one time, 2 times, 3 times. Up, 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 it up!
Mama, mama, can't you see?
Mama, mama, can't you see?
What the army's done to me?
What the army's done to me?
Mama, mama, can't you see?
Mama, mama, can't you see?
What the army's done to me?
What the army's done to me?
Put me on the silver jet.
Put me on